If you enjoy listening to inspirational stories from people just like us, facing the fear and doing it anyway, then you're in the right place. My name is Claire Hill, and this is the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Hello and welcome to the second Mini Monday episode. It may be Monday, it may not be Monday, but it's intended to be Monday. So this is a good start for your week, but maybe you need this support on a Wednesday. Today, I am talking to you about a vulnerability hangover. Have you experienced a vulnerability hangover? It's a term used to describe the feeling after you have put yourself but out of your comfort zone. When you've maybe felt a little bit scared about pushing your business into a certain direction, or you've shown up on your stories when you don't normally, or you've raised your prices, which you haven't done in ages. Those kinds of things where you've pushed yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. Maybe you've gone to an event or a party where you've spoken to somebody that you don't know, and you walk away and you think, oh, what are they thinking about me? Do they think that I'm an idiot? These kinds of weird thoughts that we have about who we are and what we say, those feelings of, have I done something wrong? Or maybe they don't like me. That's all part of this vulnerability hangover. So when you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you are very likely to feel the vulnerability hangover, but it does impact us. And I just wanted to talk about it today because I want you to know that it's perfectly normal. When you feel those feelings, they usually come the next day or the day, or maybe like 2 days after the pushing yourself out of the comfort zone. Sometimes it's quite instant, especially if you've been talking to somebody that you haven't spoken to before. But it doesn't mean you're inadequate. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. It doesn't mean that what you've done is a mistake because it feels really crappy. It is just a hangover. It is just that feeling of us pushing ourselves a little bit. No, and I wouldn't say it's not pushing us too far. You're just pushing yourself in the right direction and your brain going, that's not normal. Must be wrong. It must be wrong. If we haven't done this before, it must be wrong. It must be something we shouldn't be doing again. I'm going to make you feel really crap now so that you don't do it again. And you can say, look, I know what this is. This is what they call a vulnerability hangover. I am going to give myself some comfort, maybe order a McDonald's, have a can of Coke. What other hangover cures are there? One of my friends, who's called Carrie, but my son Jackson calls her Gary, always eats watermelon. So maybe you need some watermelon in the fridge. And I know it's not alcohol induced, but having those things up our sleeves, like the toolkit, what are your vulnerability hangover cures that are going to help you get through that stage? And we always get over the hangover. We always get through those feelings of crappiness after we've had a big night out. So we're going to have those feelings of crappiness, and we're going to overcome those feelings of crappiness because that's what we do. We get over our hangovers. But just because we're experiencing the hangover because we push ourselves out of our comfort zone doesn't mean it's any different. And most of the time, when we've had a really good night out, or maybe when we were younger, maybe now I'm older and I have like 2 or 3 day hangovers. I drink a lot of water if I ever have a little drink now. But if you do have those hangovers, usually it was worth it. So when you're feeling like this and you push yourself out of your comfort zone, just remember it's totally normal. It feels strange, but it doesn't mean you've done the wrong thing. It doesn't mean that you're inadequate, and you will feel better. Have your vulnerability hangover cures ready, and then get ready for the next time you're going to push yourself out of your comfort zone. So my question is to you now, How are you going to push yourself out of your comfort zone this week? Are you going to talk to somebody different? Are you going to message a potential customer or client? Are you going to show up on your stories? Are you just going to think beyond, this year and the vision of where your business could be in 6 months, and maybe push yourself to think about where it could be in 5 years and how you could get it all done, all of those 5-year goals achieved in 6 months, because that's possible too. That's very brave action, but maybe that will float your boat this week. All right, so yeah, there you go. Have an amazing week. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast, written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill, and music has been composed by my brother, Phil Vidler.